My name is Shelley. Standing on this grand stage, with the spotlight shining brightly and the thunderous applause filling the air, I can't help but cast my eyes towards the front table where my family sits. My mother, with a forced smile and averted eyes, looks so out of place. My sister fidgets nervously, her face flushed, while my father sits stiffly, his jaw clenched. It wasn't always like this. I come from a well-to-do family in the heart of the city. My father, Mr. Thompson, is a successful lawyer, always busy with high-profile cases and social events. He is a man of pride, believing that status and reputation are everything. My mother, Mrs. Thompson, is a socialite who spends her days attending galas and charity events. She is more concerned with appearances than with the feelings of her family. My sister, Lily, is 2 years younger than me. She is caught up in the world of fashion and social media, always chasing the next trend and the approval of her peers. I was the quiet one in the family, often overshadowed by my sister's flamboyance and my parents' social status. I had a passion for art, but it was never encouraged in our family. They saw it as a waste of time, something that wouldn't bring them the prestige they desired. One fateful day, I received some devastating news from my doctor. I needed surgery the next day, and it was a high-risk procedure. Fear and anxiety washed over me, and all I wanted was the support of my family. So, I gathered my courage and sent a message in our family group chat. Doctor says surgery's tomorrow. Can someone be with me? Lily was the first to reply. I have a fashion show to attend. Good luck, she typed nonchalantly, as if my life was just an afterthought. My mother followed with, don't be so dramatic. It's just a surgery. You'll be fine. I stared at the screen in disbelief, my hands trembling. I simply wrote back, no worries, but inside, I was breaking. That night in the hospital, as I lay on the bed with the monitors beeping rhythmically, I felt completely alone. The phone slipped from my hands, not because of shock, but because I finally saw the truth. Their words were empty, like echoes in an empty hall. I whispered to myself, then I'll stop asking. The nurse, a kind-hearted woman named Sarah, adjusted my blanket. Her gentle eyes showed more care than my family ever had. Strangers in the hospital offered me words of comfort, while my own blood relatives were nowhere to be found. This irony cut deeper than the incision that awaited me in the morning. But I didn't let my anger get the better of me. I chose to be still, and in that stillness, I found clarity. I signed a release form, allowing the media to cover my story. While my family was out enjoying their fancy dinners and socializing, the newsroom was busy crafting a story that would expose their neglect. At 9:12 p.m. The news segment aired. I could only imagine their reactions. They dropped their forks, their phones, as they saw my face on the news. The caption read, left alone before surgery. Family missing. World watching. The clip, less than 3 minutes long, told the whole story. A reporter outside the hospital spoke with a steady voice. A young woman, Shelley Thompson, faces surgery tomorrow morning. In a family group chat, she asked for support, but was met with dismissal. The next morning, the hospital was filled with an outpouring of love. Donations came in, flowers filled my room, and messages from strangers covered the walls. A local support group offered to sit with me during the surgery, taking turns so I wouldn't be alone. The hospital staff was amazed. You've got more people outside waiting than most politicians, they said. But the group chat remained silent. No apology, no arrival. Just those 3 dots that never turned into words. At 6:45 a.m. I was wheeled down the hall. Cameras clicked from the sidewalk outside. I didn't wave or smile. I just let the story speak for itself. Under the surgical lights, I closed my eyes, calm and steady. Not because I trusted the surgery, but because I trusted the power of truth. When I woke up, the room was filled with flowers and the sounds of well-wishers outside. My phone buzzed with hundreds of messages, but none were from my family. They were silent, paralyzed by the public exposure. Later, they finally broke their silence in the group chat. My mother wrote, "Shelley, please take this down. People are asking questions." My sister added, "You're embarrassing us. No one needs to know private things." But I didn't reply. The whole world could see that I deserved love and support, something my family had refused to give. The local paper ran a follow-up story. "Community rallies behind patient abandoned before surgery," it read. Photos of volunteers holding signs outside my window were printed. And in the middle of the article, it said, "Family declined to comment." Word spread around the city. At the gala dinners my family loved, at the church pews they filled every Sunday, and at the grocery stores, whispers began. "Did you see the news? How could they leave her like that?" Their social pedestal began to crumble. I started to receive invitations to speak. A talk show wanted me on their morning segment, a podcast asked for my voice, and a university health panel invited me to discuss resilience. The world was finally listening to my story. The nonprofit fundraiser was a turning point. Standing on the podium, I looked out at the sea of empathetic faces. I thought I was alone, but being left alone taught me something. Silence is loudest when it's shared. Applause filled the hall. And there, in the back, I saw my family standing in the shadows, watching the love and support I was finally receiving. The headlines changed. No longer was I the abandoned patient. Now, they read, "From patient to advocate, Shelley Thompson speaks for the forgotten." My pain had turned into power, and my neglect had transformed into momentum. Hospitals invited me to consult on family support programs, and organizations wanted my input on policies. Strangers recognized me in waiting rooms and whispered, "That's her." Back home, my family was in a self-imposed silence. My sister tried to do damage control online, but every comment asked the same question, "Where were you when she asked?" She deleted the post within hours. My mother withdrew from social circles, and my father couldn't escape the judgmental looks in public. The City Gala, the event of the year, was the final showdown. I was the keynote speaker. As I walked onto the stage in a simple navy dress, I felt a sense of calm. I looked out at the audience, and my eyes briefly passed over my family's table. I began, 3 months ago, I asked a simple question in a family group chat. "Doctor says surgery's tomorrow. Can someone be with me?" The answer was silence, or worse, dismissal. I held up my phone, showing the blurred screenshot of the group chat. Gasps filled the hall. I continued, "Family isn't always who shares your blood. Sometimes, family is who shows up when it matters most." And when blood turned away, strangers became my lifeline. That's why I stand here tonight, not to shame, but to remind you that presence is the greatest gift we can give each other. The room erupted in applause. My family sat in silence, their faces a mix of shame and regret. The next morning, the headlines were everywhere. From neglect to keynote, Shelley Thompson redefines family. I didn't check the group chat. I didn't need to. I knew that in every corner of the city, the truth was being spoken. My family's silence had become their downfall, while my silence had become my strength. I left the group chat untouched, those 3 lines frozen in time: "We have dinner plans. Don't be dramatic. No worries." It was a digital gravestone of their choice. And as I look at myself in the mirror now, I see a strong, independent woman, no longer defined by my family's neglect. I've rewritten my story, and the ending is still being written.